Heavy rain and flooding across our viewing area tonight. We're working to learn what we can find out about the work to recover and fix all the damage here tonight. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Rowe. A look here at I-24 westbound near McBrien Road early this evening. You see traffic here at a crawl trying to navigate the floodwaters, and there a police officer trying to save a woman there from the floodwaters tonight on I-24. TDOT closed a stretch of I-24 through the city, as you can see right there in that spot because of the flooding. That is now back open tonight. Fox Chattanooga's Ray Collado has been out in the rain and the floodwaters for hours now. He joins us now on I-24 at McBrien Road right now. Ray.
We're live here at McBrien Road, where several residents had to be rescued from their flooded cars earlier this evening. Now, the flash flooding forced TDOT officials to temporarily shut down I-24 at mile markers 184 and 185 in Hamilton County. Now, let's take a look at this video from earlier this afternoon. As you can see, several cars attempt to get through the flooded area with little to no success. You can also see several cars almost completely submerged in the water. This is why emergency officials say, turn around, don't drown. Officials are directing residents affected by the flooding to the Brainerd Recreational Center. Helena Butler tells us it took only minutes for floodwaters to rise as she drove along I-24. Butler says she's thankful first responders were able to get her out with her car intact. But still, she's scared for what comes next.
I'm a little shaky still because I was like the last car that was allowed to go. And so the rescuers came and pulled us out, pulled us onto a higher road. Seeing everything else, seeing the cars that are underwater and the trucks that are going under, it's just really scary.
Again, officials are warning residents to stay off the roads as the flooding continues. Reporting in East Ridge, Ray Collado, NewsChannel 9.
All right, Ray, thank you so much. Right now, look here at Hickory Valley Road off Shallowford Road. You can see the road underwater here. We've heard multiple reports of issues in the Shallowford Road area tonight. Parts of 153 South, Shallowford Road exit ramp were closed due to the high waters there. Hamilton County Emergency Management told us there were several rescues across that area this evening. They listed more than 50 roads impacted by flooding. You can find that list right now, foxchattanooga.com. Moving to Howell Drive off of Highway 58. High waters there flooded yards, reaching some homes in that neighborhood. One neighbor told our photographer there that this is some of the worst flooding he has seen in the area. In the last 10 minutes, Hamilton County Mayor Weston Wamp announced he's declared a local state of emergency. He says his office is in contact with TEMA and the governor's office and will continue to evaluate damage overnight into the morning as well. Parts of North Georgia tonight also underwater. Here photos of Van Cleet Road near Old Fort Baptist Church. You see a car there off the road in the water. We've heard reports of evacuations and rescues in the Fort Oglethorpe area. Let's now go to Chief Meteorologist David Glenn. And David, are we expecting any more rain at this point?
Well, first of all, not that heavy the rest of the night. We're going to see some occasional showers here and there, but what happened today, you had the showers earlier on in the day, kind of saturated the ground, and then all at once, those downpours. And this is a rainfall the past 12 hours, but a lot of this fell in just over 3 hours' time. And those amounts, a whopping 5 to over 6 inches of rain. That's the area of I-24 that was closed, but many other spots back to East Brainerd or around the Valley View area, upwards of over 5 inches of rain.
Well, joining us in studio this morning is Mayor Tim Kelly, and we have several issues we want to talk with him about. But first, we do want to start with the flooding that happened in our area last night. The scenic city inundated with that flash flood water on the interstate, shutting down parts of I-24, people trapped in cars, their homes. Mayor Kelly, can you talk a little bit about the response from our local first responders and the work that they did to make sure people were safe?
Absolutely. Our fire department, our public works department, our stormwater department are all out there. We're out there last night. Continue to be out there this morning monitoring, clearing drains because we've got more rain coming. So again, as you guys often remind people, don't drown, turn around. If you see a flood event, do not attempt to drive through it. But we're on the case and we'll continue to be throughout the course of the day.
Meg Doyle is joining us live this morning with more on the cleanup efforts in our area and the rescue efforts last night. Meg, how are things this morning?
Good morning, Dane and Hannah. I'm here at the Brainerd Recreation Center where several residents in East Brainerd were rescued and had to be taken here to stay. As you can see behind me, the Red Cross Disaster Release is here helping out those residents. They are still in the building as of this morning. We know that HCSO conducted a joint operation with their Swiftwater rescue team to rescue some of these residents. They were joined with Catoosa County Fire Department, East Ridge, and police personnel. There were several streets in Brainerd where residents were trapped. We have been seeing videos all morning of these rescues taking place, residents unable to get out of their home without the assistance of first responders. So here at Brainerd Recreation Center is where they're staying. I'm about to speak with someone from the Red Cross Disaster Relief for an update on, how many people were rescued, what those rescues operations looked like. So I will be back with more details a little bit later in the show. But for now, definitely stay safe as you head out on the roads today. I-24 is back open, as Hannah and Dane have been saying. However, there is still a lot of debris on the roads. As I was just driving around this morning, those floodwaters bring up a lot of debris, so be extra careful. There are still a lot of roads that are closed from the flooding, so just make sure to double check your route. And as we know, there are a lot of school closures and school delays, and you can find more details about that on our website at newschannel9.com. But definitely stay safe. Don't risk it this morning. Turn around. Don't drown. It's okay to be a few extra minutes late to work or school. Everyone will understand. Obviously, this was extreme flash flooding our area saw last night. But I will be back in just about 20 minutes, so I will have more updates for you then. Reporting live for ARC Chattanooga, I'm Meg Doyle.
And we start this midday with the weather situation right now. Standing water could still be a concern in places. We'll have an update on one of the hardest hit areas in just a moment. But first, meteorologist Olivia Glass is joining us in the Weather Center with an update. Olivia, we can hear it on our roof right now. More rainfall as flood watches and warnings are in effect.
Yeah, yesterday major flooding took place across the Tennessee Valley, and unfortunately we are not out of the clear just quite yet. This is what radar currently looks like. Lots of heavier downpours are right along the Tennessee border, as well as through portions of our northern Tennessee counties as well. Bledsoe, Sequatchie County also picking up on some heavier bands of rainfall too. Additional shower activity is also just starting to develop through northwestern Georgia as well, towards Dalton, Lafayette too. All of these bright green shaded boxes you're seeing are current flash flood warnings. This first one is out for portions of central Hamilton, Bradley County as well until 4 o'clock Eastern time today. Half an inch to an inch of rain has already fallen just today in those locations. An additional, say 1 to 2, even some isolated spots higher than that. Additional flash flood warnings for Marion County as well. This is out for about the next 15 minutes or so. We'll see if that warning does get extended. And then our last warning is for portions of Franklin and Jackson County as well. That warning out for just a couple more minutes, but again, we'll see if that warning also gets extended. Flash flood warnings are also in effect for the entire viewing area as well. We'll go through the future track coming up in about 15 minutes or so to time out the rest of today's showers and storms.
Olivia, thanks for keeping us updated. Well, we unfortunately know that these storms have led to 3 deaths overnight, 2 adults and a child. This happened in Eastridge when a tree fell on a car. News Channel 9's Meg Doyle is joining us live from Eastridge this hour. Meg, what does the damage look like out there?
Good afternoon, Dane. Right now we're in the car because there is some thunder and lightning passing through the area. So, of course, we want to make sure we're being safe as well. But we're here in Eastridge, and if you can see behind me, actually, in this parking lot, there is extensive damage. Water from that flash flood actually got up underneath of the asphalt and lifted it up. Now, this is just a portion of the damage that I've seen this morning. This morning, I rode along with local and county officials, including Mayor Weston Wamp, going door to door in neighborhoods, especially who were severely affected by those flash floods. I spoke with a woman who was rescued by raft out of her home, and she was telling me just how traumatic this experience was. And she says, you know, where her neighborhood is in a floodplain, but she's never seen anything quite like this. She let us walk into her home, and we saw that water line. In some homes, the water got up to 2 feet. In homes, we know another nearby hotel, about 20 residents had to be evacuated, and we saw the water line there as well. We spoke with other neighbors who said this has been the second time in 2 months that their home has been flooded. Now, one thing Mayor Weston Womp did say, he spoke to us about how he wants to stress that this was a flash flood. This was not your typical flood, which is why it just, you know, nearly 7 inches of rain fell just so quickly Tuesday evening. And so that's why we're seeing this extensive damage, and first responders worked so hard overnight. The American Red Cross opened up a shelter at the Brainerd Recreational Center for those who were displaced through the flood. And now it's just looking forward to what's next and looking ahead. But like I said, we did speak to Mayor Weston Womp, and he told us that officials are doing everything they can right now to assist those who've been affected.
A flood is one thing. This was really a flash flood situation. So much rain so fast. It's not really a function of what kind of drains you have. Any area is subject to a flash flood. That's what we saw transpire last night, and what we're hoping doesn't happen again this afternoon.
And like Mayor Womp just said, hoping that it doesn't happen again this afternoon. Again, as we just heard Olivia talk about the forecast, as we're out here in the rain, we know that we are going to get more rain as we move into this afternoon and evening hours. So just want to stress to be safe if you have to head out on the roads this evening. Again, those creeks and those waterways are already at high water levels. Turn around, don't drown. We've been saying it all morning, and we're going to continue to say it for the rest of the day. Your safety is the most important, and we're going to continue following this throughout the rest of the day, and we'll have more information for you later on our evening shows. Reporting live, I'm Meg Doyle. Dane.
Keeping a close eye on those active watches and warnings. Meg, thank you. We'll take a look at what happened during that flooding along I-24. Our TDOT SmartWay cameras capturing this moment. A first responder carrying a woman and rescuing her after she became trapped in her car along the interstate. This just one of the many rescues that took place during the height of the flooding yesterday. We also saw swift water teams helping those who were trapped in their homes. Hamilton County Emergency Management sharing this video from Clemens Road and Swope Drive. Crews helping a family get to safety using an inflatable boat. Chattanooga Fire says the Brainerd Recreation Center was opened overnight as a shelter for anyone impacted by the flooding. Meanwhile, here's video from Hickory Valley Road off of Shallowford Road. You can see that roadway dealing with the standing water overnight. We had heard multiple reports of issues in the Shallowford Road area. Parts of Highway 153 near the Shallowford Road exit ramp were closed yesterday due to the high waters there. Moving now to Howell Drive off of Highway 58. Take a look. The high waters flooding yards and reaching some homes in that neighborhood. One neighbor there telling our photographer that this is some of the worst flooding he's ever seen in this area. And parts of North Georgia also inundated with all that water. Photos here off of Van Cleet Road near Old Fort Baptist Church. You can see that car partially submerged in that water. We've heard several reports of evacuations and rescues in the Fort Oglethorpe area. And we also have video here from Rossville, Georgia. A viewer sending this in of a heavily flooded roadway. You can see that water flooding the yards and houses on that street. And then as the camera pans over, you can see this large tree just uprooting right in front of that viewer as it falls near a house. Again, the water has receded in some places, but this midday, there can still be flooded and dangerous spots, especially as we start to see that rainfall pick up yet again. Hamilton County state of emergency still in place this hour. If you do encounter standing water in the road, remember, turn around, don't drown. We will have an updated list of school closings and delays on our website as we now follow this into the next few days. So make sure to follow our entire news team on social media today as we will track the latest developments.
People in Hamilton
Hamilton County and Chattanooga continue to recover tonight, 24 hours after flood waters surged, setting off calls for search and rescue. Authorities also saying 4 people, including a child, died in the chaos of this storm. Thanks for joining us. I'm Latricia Thomas.
And I'm Josh Rowe. Hamilton County Mayor Weston Wong placed the county in a state of emergency last night. The drone video right here you see here is sent to us by a viewer showing the water that overtook cars and tractor trailers on I-24 as the sun set in the background. TDOT and the TVA says our area saw nearly 7 inches of water over a 4-hour period. TDOT says the rain caused smaller waterways to rise above their banks, leading to an unprecedented amount of flooding out there.
We have team coverage tonight. Several of our reporters have been out in the community all day, talking with people, seeing the damage and learning from officials. But first, we want to begin tonight by checking in with Chief Meteorologist David Glynn, who was timing out the rain as it came down last night. He has what you need to know about tonight. Hey, David.
Yeah, what a difference a day makes, right? Things are a lot better right now. There are still some light showers around the city and some heavier downpours, say, east of Somerville and in around the Murphy area. This is far different from last night, and overall, a decreasing trend in rain is anticipated as we go through the rest of the evening, overnight hours. But looking back over the past 24 hours alone, of course, we know about this area, I-24, East Brainerd, East Ridge area, hardest hit. A secondary high rainfall amount was over the western part of Marion County. So looking back at the past 24 hours, some of the radar estimates, nearly 7 inches, 6.5 to 7 in that stretch right along I-24 near McBrien Road, where we had worse flooding. 6.42 was the official total at the airport, which is a daily record for August 12th. Also 5 to 6 and across the East Brainerd area. But looking back, some of the rain last night and especially the first half of today started adding up. Near Orem, western Marion County, nearly 7 inches. North and west of Jasper, about 5 inches. But outside these areas of the high water marks, so to speak, you can see 2 to 4 was very common north of the city, 1 to 3 south of the city. So the ground is super saturated. We don't need any more rain. And I'll tell you why in the days ahead. Our rain chances will gradually start going down and temperatures start going up. We'll look at the 7-day forecast and look back at how this record rainfall event stacks up to other previous record rainfall we've seen in the past.
David, thank you. Since last night, dozens of people have sent in video and pictures of the flooding, storms, and damage.
Including this video here from Shayla Jensen in Rossville, taking video of the flooding on her street right here when a large tree right there falls right there next to her home, just feet away. Authorities say it was a falling tree like this, the one that claimed 3 lives last night as well.
Authorities in East Ridge say the deadly crash happened here on Southmore Road. They say a tree fell on a silver vehicle as it drove along the road. You can see some parts of that vehicle near the toppled and uprooted tree.
Inside the vehicle, 2 adults and a child. The police say first responders pronounced all 3 people dead at the scene. Tonight, we know several people in the Chattanooga area had to be rescued. Mayor Tim Kelly says hundreds of firefighters responded to the emergency, resulting in the rescue of more than 30 people.
NewsChannel 9's Meg Doyle has been covering the damage in East Ridge since the sun came up this morning. She has the report after seeing that damage firsthand alongside leaders and elected officials.
They were rescuing a bunch of other people too.
A traumatic evening for East Ridge residents who had to be evacuated from their homes by raft.
4 souls, 2 cats.
Rhonda Kelly was one of those residents after water came pouring into her home.
They met me right here at the door. Coming in hollering at me because he was already with his bag going up there, and I had more stuff I was carrying out and trying to put up furniture too. So anyway, I'm out. That's the blessing.
First responders and county leaders surveyed the damage left behind by the historic flash flood.
All that water coming down here.
Floodwaters rising nearly 2 feet at the Cascade Motel, forcing residents to evacuate. You can see here water from that flash flood lifted up the asphalt in this East Ridge parking lot. We spoke with businesses and homeowners who said this flash flood was like nothing they've ever seen before.
I've never been in one like this, and I would be out in it too. I've never saw it like this. It's just bad.
Philip Morgan leases a building in this parking lot and also got caught driving in the flash floods.
And then all at once it just disaster, and it just took forever to get here. And cars were every which way. You couldn't even see nothing.
For Kathy and Carl Doloff, this is the second time in just 2 months their home has been flooded.
It's very stressful.
The Doloffs don't live in an area considered a floodplain.
This one was a little worse, but I mean, they both basically came up to.
Last time we didn't, but we didn't get a ton of water.
You know, and this is the high part of the property right here. The low part is down there.
Now residents are left to pick up the pieces.
Didn't know where we was going to stay last night. Got the last room at the hotel down here. But you got to do what you got to do.
In East Ridge, Meg Doyle, News Channel 9.
From East Ridge to parts of Catoosa County, first responders worked late into the night there to find people calling for help in their homes as that water rose, including in this video posted to social media by Hamilton County.
You can see first responders standing in the water handing out the life jackets there. Rescue here on Clemens Road and Swope Drive. There were other rescues in East Ridge there as well, with first responders using boats and swift water tactics to get people to safety.
In Catoosa County, first responders had to save hundreds of people from 2 different apartment complexes in Fort Oglethorpe. A majority of those were at one complex, the Crossings on Fant Drive. Authorities say people on the first floor had to be rescued from waist-deep water.
Those evacuated were given shelter in the overnight hours. Tonight we're hearing from people in Catoosa County who had several feet of water in their living rooms and kitchens.
News Channel 9's Jakai Spikes has that story.
Come on, baby.
2 dogs trying to stay afloat in flash floods, brought to safety by Brandy Jackson.
People were on the streets with their animals saying that they're not leaving their animals. They didn't have anywhere else to go.
I really don't care. I'm going to help them, baby.
But they aren't the only ones that had to be rescued.
And they were on raft boats and stuff, and it was really sad to see.
Like if you see the flood line on our walls, that's how high the water got.
Ashley and Laura Ozanto are referring to this flood line on the wall. They showed me this video of what was once their safe space. And just in the span of 10 minutes,
I'm not going to be able to make it to work tomorrow whatsoever. I don't even know what I'm going to do with my kids or anything.
And she's freaking out and crying. My 11-year-old started freaking out and crying, saying she was scared. I had my 4-year-old trying to climb on me.
Ashley and her wife were sitting here on this couch watching TV when they started to hear a loud knock on the front door. When they opened the door, that's then when flash floods entered into their apartment, and those flash floods waters reached to the top of this couch.
The only thing that I could really keep in mind is that these people, most of them don't have insurance to cover for this, and the apartment complex isn't going to help for any of it and anything that got lost.
I tried to ask management about the future of these residents' apartments, but no answer. These photos from the Catoosa County government Facebook page shows first responders rescuing 80 people from the Crossings apartment complex.
By the time they showed up, we were upstairs and the water level was to your knees on our porch. Like we couldn't even see the porch anymore. We were standing on the stairs. They had to help guide us. The boat made it to our steps.
From Catoosa County, I'm Jakai Spikes, News Channel 9.
Just hours ago, first responders and elected officials in Hamilton County, Chattanooga, and East Ridge provided an update on their response to the flooding.
Officials also gave an update on the search for someone they say ran past barricades into the rising floodwaters. Let's go live now to News Channel 9's Ray Collado for those updates. Ray.
Inside Hamilton County's Emergency Operations Center, county officials tell us they had to answer 400 calls for help and conduct over 35 water rescues during last night's flash floodings. However, in the overnight hours, they couldn't locate one man on East Brainerd Road. Now, in these pictures from Chattanooga's fire department, it shows crews searching for a missing person on East Brainerd, who authorities say ran into the flooded waters. CFD officials tell us yellow tape, along with multiple firefighters, were there trying to keep people from going around the barriers. When he disappeared into the water, rescue boats went after him. Chattanooga Mayor Tim Kelly says the body of that man may have been found this afternoon.
We've
also been informed a body was discovered downstream of East Brainerd Road, which matches the description of a man who, unfortunately, unwisely maneuvered around fire department barricades and was swept away by a stream.
Mayor Kelly says last night's flash flooding marks the second highest rainfall in Chattanooga's history. Reporting live in Hamilton County, Ray Collado, NewsChannel 9.
Ray, thank you. Some of the most stunning video of the flooding comes from I-24. Several people sent us video showing a section of the interstate completely underwater. In that viewer video, you can see stuck vehicles and a semi-truck trying to move through.
TDOT crews had several projects in that area recently. They tell us tonight those recent projects did not contribute to the flooding, but they did say their drain sites did see issues. NewsChannel 9's Lily Butler joined us now live to tell us more about this after speaking with TDOT. Lily.
Josh, Latricia, you can see the 5 lanes of traffic flowing on Interstate 24 at McBrien Road just smoothly behind me, but that was not the case last night. In fact, you couldn't even see these roads, just cars floating and rescue teams scrambling. TDOT says it was not their construction that caused that scene, but government leaders say they aren't sure yet. As these roadways on I-24 began to look more like a river,
we all worked as a big team and communicated with each other on where can we help, who's doing what, and what does it take to get it done.
Rescues like this took place to get several people out of their stranded cars.
And that's a substantial storm. That's well beyond the standards of what our projects are designed for.
This area of the interstate is part of a multi-year project to widen bridges and add more lanes to ease congestion. Chattanooga Mayor Tim Kelly said how that construction affected the flooding is worth investigating.
I think there's a lot of concern about, whether the new construction on the interstate is sufficient, and we're talking to the state about that now.
And after Hamilton County Mayor Weston Wamp surveyed the damage, he had the same question.
It requires a little more study to know what the implications of what's going on in the interstate are. It's the first question that I asked when I arrived in East Ridge this morning.
But TDOT's regional director, Danny Oliver, says he's sure the flooding on the interstate was not directly caused by their construction.
So with the area that we were draining to was flooded. Our outlets off-site, off the project, were submerged underwater, and until those areas that were lower than this project drained down, our project couldn't drain.
Oliver says they're already looking at a few areas of improvement to be better suited for the next downpour.
In other communities and in the counties and cities, that we're all working together on those standards to make sure that our projects are handling their wastewater, not so much wastewater, but stormwater drainage in a proper way.
Oliver said with more rain expected, just be aware of your driving. If you come across some high water, turn around, take an alternate route, and just don't chance it. Reporting live in Chattanooga, Lily Butler, News Channel 9.
Lily, thank you. As elected officials and first responders continue to look at damage, we're hearing stories of people who risked their own lives in the storm.
Including the man in this video here, Troy Plemons. He works for EPB. Someone caught him on video pulling someone stuck in their vehicle there in the floods. News Channel 9's Alex Goyevich joins us now to tell us more after speaking with Plemons. Alex.
Yes, Josh, Latricia, Plemons says he has never found himself in a situation like this before. EPB posted the video of his actions on social media, praising him for those actions. Plemons tells me this happened near the 75-24 split across from the AMC movie theater. At the time, Plemons says he saw someone in distress and had to act. He broke out her rear view window with a metal bit, pulled her out, and carried her to safety. He told me about the moments after he got the woman out of her vehicle.
She said thank you. That's all she could say. It was just thank you, thank you, thank you. She wanted to get somewhere dry. I allowed her to sit in my truck, and she said, that'll be fine. And she just said thank you. That's all she could say. That's fine with me.
Plemons says the floodwaters rose quickly, and he was at the right place at the right time. Josh?
Alex, thank you. If you at home have video or pictures of the recent flooding, we'd love to see those photos and videos. You can do that through our Chime In page. We have a story on our homepage right now with a link to chime in. Just go to newschannel9.com.
The Hamilton County Commission chairman says he wants answers after historic flooding submerged roads and vehicles.
Several people spoke during today's commission meeting about what they call overdevelopment and a lack of infrastructure.
News Channel 9's Sarah Hauer has more.
Heartbreaking to see.
Brian Turner says this creek behind me is the reason floodwater reached nearly 42 inches inside of his home. He says when the rain kept falling, the creek overflowed and it all came rushing in.
Turner's home is one of many damaged from Tuesday's flooding.
Tried to actually walk up the driveway and water was already about a little over knee deep, and trying to get back to the garage, it was about waist deep.
You can see in this video the damage left behind, walls being ripped out, furniture piled up, and people working to clear debris.
It's going to be a long time. So much is damage inside, from just the HVAC system to all kind of things.
For him, the focus isn't just cleanup. He and neighbors are pointing to years of rapid development and a lack of stormwater planning for making flooding worse. In this Facebook post, State Representative Greg Vital wrote, "This is more than an issue than a flash flood. It's about overdensity and overdevelopment, lack of growth planning, lack of stormwater management, and infrastructure."
It does make us look at it a little different.
After Wednesday's meeting, Commissioner Jeff Eversole says the commission is open to reviewing development rules and stormwater upgrades to help prevent future flooding.
We know we need to continue to focus on that as we continue to build and develop. That's going to continue to put even more pressure on our highway departments to respond.
Residents at the meeting called for stronger stormwater infrastructure and a pause on high-density developments until the flooding problem is addressed.
We saw the flooding last night. Many of your districts are exactly affected by last night. Guys, it wasn't just because we had 6-7 inches worth of rain. It was because we were eroding our agriculture.
For Turner, the work is just beginning.
I would love to see the city come in, do some type of study and look to see how we could improve the flow. I know we got a lot of rain, so that's hard too, but I do think it's getting worse and worse.
In Hamilton County, Sarah Hauer, News Channel 9.
Heavy rain led to severe flash flooding across Chattanooga last night, with 911 receiving over 400 calls for help. Thanks for watching. I'm Josh Rowe. You can see here in this video behind us here, vehicles are making their way through the floodwaters there, being stuck on I-24 there. Police on the scene working to rescue those stranded by the flood. Bystanders also stopped what they were doing to get others to safety. A former paramedic managed to rescue 3 people from a stranded car. News Channel 9's Ray Collado spoke with that man about what made him jump into action.
We saw a man on top of his car, and then the next thing you see is 2 small framed women and a little baby girl, probably about 3 years old, standing on the concrete median.
Jerry Harvey says he served his community as a paramedic for over 20 years. And while he may be retired, he says those instincts don't go away.
I just couldn't even think about leaving that little girl and her mom out there and the other lady. I couldn't even consider that.
In this video, you can see the moment Harvey made a decision to get out of his car and help.
I couldn't tell you if the water was hot or cold, or if the only thing, my focus was completely on, the little girl.
It was right here on I-24 by McBrien Road where Harvey sprang into action. Hamilton County officials also ran a press conference today addressing the flash floods. They say their 911 call centers were overwhelmed from calls during the flash floods. County officials say while it may be easy to criticize those driving through the floods, they say this situation was unprecedented.
People think, how can you drive in water that deep? Well, last night was unique because they drove in the water thinking it was fine, but as they were driving slowly through it, it rose. It rose maybe 2 feet by the time they went 100 yards. So everybody may be criticizing what they did. We all know to turn around and not drown, but when you look at it and it's 2 inches deep and the next thing you know it's 4 feet deep, that's something you've never seen before.
County officials say while the damages were less than they expected it to be, they can confirm at least 4 people died because of the flash flooding. Harvey says it was a no-brainer for him to help, but he urges anyone who's untrained to not do what he did.
I always taught as a paramedic was that, a injured or a dead rescuer doesn't rescue anyone. And, so I think that's probably the biggest takeaway is, don't try to be a hero.
In Hamilton County, Ray Collado, News Channel 9.
Mayor Weston Wong says while devastating, the flood damage may not be as bad as they originally feared. Meantime, Hamilton County Office of Emergency Management Director Chris Adams says the county is also planning to seek financial assistance from the federal government.
I'd say after spending a couple hours in East Ridge this morning, as tough as it is and as saddening as it is that there's a loss of life, the damage to property and to infrastructure is not as bad as I thought it would have been based on the way things looked last night.
We're looking to try to reclaim as much as we can and help people any way we can financially. So if we can get FEMA assistance, that's what we're going to do.
During that same news conference today, Chattanooga Police Chief John Chambers says Brainerd Recreational Center is still serving anyone who has been displaced or affected by the flooding.